One of the challenges that my organization has been facing is also about bringing staff back to work after such a long time. So when the government decided to lift the lockdown and we decided to start the office, because many other organizations were doing that as well, but that doesn't necessarily ensure safety, because then public transportations were on and the staff were not willing to come to come through public transportations, and then so they were either they needed additional travel money or something like that, which is really challenging for youth-led organization like ours. But also the decision itself to make about when to resume office. So Michael, maybe you can help me with that by explaining like how do we transition back to working in the office safely.
Yeah, thank you. And the return to office normally comes up with lots of dimensions that you'll observe amongst the staff. One, there will be staff definitely who will have anxiety about coming to the office, around concerns around their safety in the office, concerns about moving away from the new normal that they have been used to. When people are telecommuting, then you don't have to factor in the commuting time to the office. You don't you put away even some of your office clothes, and so all that anxiety comes in. But then also there are staff who are actually looking forward to coming to the office, and they will not be actually conscious of the safety concerns. So you will find two types of, two kind of categories among the staff. Those who are really conscious and anxious, almost afraid to come back to the office, but then there are those who have been waiting to come back to the office and may not really look into the safety measures. But what is important is, I think, managing, and what I would recommend most would be to return in phases, because the first phase, normally from my experience, it offers a lot of learning. Because you remember when we moved away from the office, the time the use of masks there was still a lot of controversy around the use of masks, around sanitization, around safety issues. So it's always important to get in small numbers. And once you get in small numbers, you'll be able to observe some of the obvious failures to correspond to the measures that you need for prevention. And then you can come up with ways that can practically be used to ensure that people are compliant to those measures. The other one, of course, is, of course, you have to look at your staff and then go one by one with them and find out how comfortable they are. Do they have any specific concerns around coming back to the office? You have staff with underlying medical conditions who may have concerns to come back to the office. You have staff who may have situations at home that are actually pushing them away from home, and the office is a kind of a safe space for them where they run away from maybe some of the challenges they have in their homes. So you have to balance all this, but the critical thing, the most important thing is the safety of everybody in the office, because you don't want to go back into the office and then after 1 week you have to close down the office again. And then of course the general mood of the population, because remember we are not working in isolation. As lockdown levels are lifted, people generally relax. So it's difficult sometimes for people to enforce measures within an office when the overall population seems to be relaxing and having a sense of safety. If you get cases where the numbers have gone down, like it's happening in South Africa now, the number of new cases has remarkably dropped, and you can see in the community, out in the public, the feeling of safety comes back to people. So that needs to be addressed as people come back to the office.